daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Newcastle GSPN podcast. And that's pretty much a tribute to all of our American listeners right now, that our intro is now fully Americanized. So shout out to you locks, that one's for you guys. Today's a bit of a different one. It is the crossover with Liverpool. It's probably going to be the saltiest or funniest or I don't know what of crossovers, but we have been challenged by the directors to make this the best ever crossover. So the pressure's on people, just saying. So it's girls v boys really. So from the Toon side, I've got my girl Nick. How you doing, chick?
Hello. Yes, I'm good. Thank you. You okay?
All good. Ready for this one. It should be spicy, as some people have said. And from the Liverpool side, first up, we've got Jesse. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Really looking forward to this one, and we don't bite.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. So apologies in advance.
Not even a nibble.
Oh, here we go. And last up, who's just spoke down the microphone right there, is Louie, who's all kitted out as well and good to go. So if anyone's watching this, you'll see that. How are you doing, Louie?
Yeah, I'm buzzing for this one. Really looking forward to the match on Monday as well.
We are too. I don't know on what levels or what expectations, but we'll discuss this as the pod goes on, I'll be honest. And we're obviously going to get the obvious subject right out of the way for everyone. And I think I'm going to set you guys off first because you're bound to then set us off. So we're going to put it on you guys to stir it up a bit. Me and Nick will come back at you, which I think might make for the more fun content, let's call it. So I think Nick's waggling a finger. So are you agreeing with me there, chick, or do you want to say something in advance of this one?
I'm ready. I've been ready since their colleague put a message in the group chat and he's dipped out of this podcast, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So I love that Louie and Jesse have joined us.
I think you got the wrong finger.
We'll put the other finger later on, it's fine. But anyway, respect to Louie and Jesse because, the other guys are scared of me and Nick, apparently, by the looks of it. So at least they came on, had a bit crack. I like that. So anyway, guys, come on then. Throw us your take on the whole Isak situation and, I don't know, start with whatever you want on him if you want. Go for it,
Jesse,
please.
do you want to go first or shall I take this?
Yeah, no, I don't mind giving a brief kind of overview of our position as Liverpool supporters. Look, he's an absolute world-class striker. If you put the kind of shenanigans to one side, he is probably the best striker in Europe, alongside maybe Haaland. He's an absolutely outstanding talent. And there isn't a team in the world, I don't think, who would not want him in their starting 11. So do we want Alexander Isak? 100%. Yes, we do. Are we all comfortable with the way that it's played out in terms of the player? Not really. But unfortunately, this is modern football. We've Louie will know, every Liverpool supporter listening will know, we've been on the receiving end of this, when Luis Suarez a few years back, threw his, toys out the pram, wanted to leave, eventually got his move. Coutinho did the same, eventually got his move. And it just seems to be that when a player puts digs his heels in and says, that's it, I want to leave, 9 times out of 10, I can't think of many situations, high profile ones anyway, where they don't get the move that they want. And I think that with Newcastle, I think there's a couple of things that are at play here. One, you've got this game on Monday, and I think that has been a factor in whether Newcastle want to sell Isak and when they want to sell him. I think it was inconceivable that they were going to sell him before this game. Can you imagine St James's Park? If it would have been worse than all those years ago when Egan sold Andy Cole, and you don't get that anymore.
Miles worse.
Yeah.
So
there's that factor. There is the other factor, which I think is a bit of it's an unknown, which is you've got this new ownership, this new kind of Saudi ownership, which, historically, if you look at their sporting projects around the world, they don't like to be pushed around. And it's not beyond it is not beyond the realms of possibility where they just say, you know what, you're staying. And if that means you're going to sit on the bench, twiddling your thumbs, or if that means that you don't want to play football and so you're going to be in the reserves in a World Cup year, that's your loss. We'll absorb the loss, but that's your loss, and you will never get that season back, and you will never get that World Cup back. So there are a lot of variables here. I do still think that this is going to be one of those deadline day, get in the helicopter, Andy Carroll style, last minute deals. I think it will be sanctioned, and I think Liverpool will get the required money that Newcastle want to have, which is around about the £150 million mark. Whether that's just all cash or whether that's cash plus a player, but I think they'll work something out.
Excellent points, and not enough to stir my anger. So go on, Louie. Add to that, please.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I just look at players like Isak who have got all of the talent and all of the ability. 23 goals last season, I think he got in the Premier League in 34 matches. That's a player who wants to play for the very best teams in the world. And right now, you're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at PSG, you're looking at Barcelona. Those three are the best teams in the world. And I mean, he wants to win trophies, and that's what all of these players want. I mean, you won the Carabao Cup last season against us, and that was an annoying day for me. So, if anything, you're getting some comeuppance now for that.
Thanks. Well, you can have a cup, we'll take your best player. Cheers.
Yeah. Just like we're doing to Crystal Palace with Mark Gay for the Community Shield. It's just our style at the moment. And even as Newcastle fans, you do have to understand that Liverpool are at the very top level in the world at the moment. And as good as Newcastle have done in recent years, getting back into the Champions League and all of that, it's not enough for him. And he just wants to take that next step in his career. The way he's gone about it, fine, not very good, especially since, from a Liverpool perspective, when Isak seemed like a deal that was off the table, we went for Ekitike, and then afterwards he said, do you know what, I fancy Liverpool now that we've bought this new striker. So I'm a bit annoyed with him on that perspective, and him putting out that statement ahead of the awards ceremony was incredibly stupid. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen that. And I actually respected the response from Newcastle, albeit against us, which kind of put him in his place, sort of, in social media. And you do have to do that with some players sometimes, because a lot of these players do need to be a bit more humble and a bit less outspoken. So from that perspective, it's not an attitude that I'm looking for, but unfortunately, you can't deny the talent. So I do still want him at the club, and as soon as he scores a goal for us, we're going to forget all that happened anyway. So yeah,
sure you will. Look, guys, you've put a lot more sense across, and if I'm honest, this is kind of why we like doing stuff like this, because unfortunately on social media, all you ever get is the viciousness, you get stupidity, you get people just on the wind-up 24/7, just putting out ridiculous statements. So what you guys have said, look, we're not going to deny it, by the way, and we're not going to deny right from the start, Jesse, what you said about being a world-class talent. We know he's one of the greatest, if not the best striker in the world right now. It's what we were kind of saying last season. The massive disappointment, I'm sure you guys will understand, is just came from the way this has all happened. He's talking about broken promises. What broken promises, Isak? Who promised you it? He's not saying anything, so he knows he can't, because he's liable for like a legal case at that point, isn't he, really? Or what was the promise? Was the promise about being sold? Was the promise about a new contract? He's been so vague in anything that he's come out with. Well, that stupid little statement on Instagram is really all he's came out with. But it's so vague, and it's more the frustration, and Nick, I'm sure, will back us up on this one. It's more the fact that this didn't happen at the start of the window. where the club or anything like that has almost had time to, all right, we've been going after strikers and stuff, but I think we would have really upped our game a lot more if we thought that we really were going to lose Isak. You know what I mean? It's the disrespect he's shown to the club, towards these other teammates. What some of those guys must be thinking of him right now, because they'll not come out and say it. They're all media trained. They're not going to say what they want to say, but can you imagine what's being said behind closed doors? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for some of those conversations.
Oh, God,
I think Big Joe would want to rip him a new one, by the way, along with Bruno. So really, I can't see Isak being integrated back into our team. I know what Howe's saying, because Howe is like the ultra cool, like, I couldn't do what Howe's doing right now and play this total chill game. I bet nobody's asked Jason Tyndall these questions, because Jason Tyndall can't be calm. So he'd probably go off on one, wouldn't he? But the point being is...
do you think players like, when players like Isak are in this situation, where I'm trying to look at it from a player's perspective, and I know as fans, we sometimes find that difficult, but I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. Do you think that this is a kind of conscious strategy by him and his agent? Because he's probably thinking, look, I think, is he 25, 26 years old?
25, yeah.
You know, he's now entering the peak years of his career, right? Now, and he's got, I think, 2 or 3 years left on his 3 years left. 3 years left on his Newcastle contract. We've got to go for the nuclear option, and that is to burn bridges so that it becomes basically untenable for him to now, like you said, be reintegrated into that team.
I just can't see it happening. Yeah,
exactly. So, do you think that's a deliberate strategy so that Newcastle will just say, you know what, just leave? Because the alternative is having a player who is not only just unhappy, but his very kind of presence is toxic to the rest of the dressing room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's getting paid more than the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, I just think these players aren't stupid. Their agents aren't stupid. I think there's a lot of thought that goes behind each step that they take, which is massive, because everybody knows that all of these steps are played out on social media. The whole world is watching. What do you think? For the Newcastle podcasters here, is that a deliberate strategy?
Nick, you take this one.
You guys are really calm about this whole situation. I actually think I know Alexander Isak personally, the amount of venom I have towards him. I can't work out if I can't work out if it's him that's being idiotic or his agent. Because to me, they both have to hold up some responsibility. But my problem with the whole situation is, and I know it's not about this, so I know you guys are going to be thinking, well, it's not about that, it's a business, and I get it. 6 weeks ago, he travelled with Newcastle to Austria for the pre-season training. He travelled with that squad, was seen laughing, he was happy, he was buzzing when his best friend Antti Langer joined. He was included in all the pre-season and kit promotions. Then he's decided at that point, I'm not happy. Now I know, again, that is work, and that's what happens. Something has happened within that really short span of time where his agent, I think it might be his agent, has thought, I think we can do something here. My problem with the situation, I don't mind that he wants to leave, by the way. Yes, I am absolutely devastated that our best player we knew it was going to happen at some point. I understand why he wants to go to trophy winning clubs and Champions League winning clubs, particularly you guys. I get it. I absolutely 100% get it. But I have now compared it to the dude that's gone to Arsenal now, Eze, where he handled his transfer with absolute grace. He played his last game for Palace with absolute grace. He made the fans aware that he wanted to leave, and he made his manager aware that he wanted to leave, but he'd done it with absolute decorum, respect, and, everything that you'd expect out of did his job.
Yeah.
What I don't like is, like you guys say, he released that statement at the most unbelievable time, and it was all about him being included in the PFA team. No one cares, mate. Eddie Howe's absolutely defended you to the hilt. Like, he's got an injury, he's got this, he's got that. You've disrespected him, you've disrespected your teammates, you've disrespected the fans and the club. There's no coming back from it. And to be completely honest, I'm a bit like, I mean, I get why you guys are excited for him potentially coming to you. I think he will end up a Liverpool player. That's my absolute take on it. I think you're right. I think the game today, whenever this goes out, is playing a part. I think maybe that's waiting to get out of the way because of that toxic and hostile environment that's going to be. There's no denying that.
It's going to be a cauldron tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. But to be honest, to answer the actual original question, I think between him and his agent, I think Alexander Isak is his agent's moneymaker, and he's got two ahead of himself, bit big for his boots,
100%.
and has had no other option but to go for the nuclear option.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the statement again, because he said this final paragraph really does speak levels. He says, when promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. And
we agree.
Not only that, he said that's why change is in the best interests of everyone, not just myself. So what he's basically doing there is he's speaking on behalf of the club. Or what he believes the club is interested in his head. So I'm wondering if that's a miscommunication error with the club. It's a dysfunctional relationship that can't continue regardless. But when he says it's in the best interest of everyone, what's your reaction to that?
Well, we do think it's in the best interest. We want rid of him, to be fair. We don't want him. 100% we don't want him, by the way. But it's a strange one. It goes back to the fact that we've got nobody else as well. It's like the time, when you bring in all the factors, right? Honestly, please God, you guys come in with a massive bid and take him, because we do not want to see him back in black and white. We don't. But it all falls down on the fact that, unhappy or not, we don't have a striker, man. They're even talking about letting Asula out, we're only actual striker. They're even talking about letting him out on loan. I mean, how insane is that? I mean, if this is how little trust he's got in Asula, so are we just going to go on this season now with no striker? We're about to start a Champions League campaign. We're about to start all sorts. So even if we've got an unhappy player, I'm so angry at him. I quite like the attitude of our owners of, screw you, you're not going to win. We're not letting you go. We're not going to give you this move, because...
it's an ego thing.
Again, we have got that kind of anger towards him, haven't we? Where we don't want him to get something out of it. Because why? Because if he goes, he gets what he wants, and we still get absolutely nothing. All right, we'll get a chunk of change. But do you honestly think you guys are going to come back in with 130, 140, whatever now? I don't think so, because you don't have to.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether that kind of price tag that Newcastle or the ownership has put on the player, I'm wondering if that's a factor in him really kind of going public with this, because maybe he thinks that he's being priced out of a move. Maybe he thinks that Liverpool aren't going to stump up £150 million, and so he's got to really make it difficult, the whole situation difficult, so that the club thinks, you know what, we just can't have this player with us now. So okay, we'll sell him for 125 or 130, whatever they can negotiate at, but. I think that's probably a factor as well.
Yeah. Look, it's going to play out one way or another. Something's going to happen by the 1st of September, but everything's so up in the air. So many things could happen between now and then. I pray to God we at least get one striker by the way, at this point. We're getting a bit desperate. It's getting a bit silly. We've been after too many players. We need to get someone in, whether it's Visser, whether it's Jackson, whether it's God knows who, because we're linked to everyone now, obviously. And everyone seems to have 60 million. I don't know what's going on with the 60 million price tag. Everyone wants 60 million, which I have laughed at so many different... They're all worth 60 million. I was like, all right, okay. But genuinely, I think, again, Nick will back me up on this, we'd be more than happy to get replacements in and let Isak go at this point. We really would, but we just have to have something. We just can't let him go with nothing. And I know people are like, well, you're getting a load of money. I'm like, yeah, it's all great having a load of money, but if you're not spending it on anyone, you then got a very weak team going into the season, and we can't then trade until January again. It's
also this situation.
That's huge, man.
Like, this situation for the club and players not great. Like, no matter what part of the situation you're in, like, no potential players going to be looking at this thinking, this is a mess. Is this how Newcastle deal with this? I mean, I think the club have dealt with it really well, I'm going to be honest, but I can understand why future players will be hesitant in coming to the team now, because they're like, well, this has been made really public. So thanks, Alex, for that. So yeah.
The other issue that you've got, I think, is you're in that kind of, you don't want to be in a situation where you get a huge chunk of money in, and then you've got to go out and buy your players, because everybody knows now, they've got
Yeah.
£150 million in their pocket. So that £60 million player now, he's now 80.
Yeah.
Ideally, which to be fair, Newcastle have been trying to do, is to get the players in and then say, right, Isak, off you go, because you've already done your deals. So I think that's
these clubs will be wise to that, though.
Yeah.
I think they'll be saying, hold on, you've got £120 million that you've just been offered and you want to pay 50. We know that you'll be able to afford it once you let Isak go, who is definitely going to be leaving at this stage after reading those statements. So I don't think that does make a difference, to be honest.
But this is the mess of it all, Louie, isn't it? It's just a massive entangled mess that whether we bid now or bid later, you're right, you bang on, people are going to want to have our eyes out, so to speak, because they know that, all right, we don't have it in our pocket right now, but it'll come eventually. So, yeah, look, it's a huge mess at the end of the day. And we can joke about it, we can get angry about it, I guess, but at the same time...
Especially when you're still playing Anthony Gordon up front. It's... Another player who was linked to us,
It is not the answer, I know. And it's just not the answer.
It's so true. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we'll not go on that one either. Nobody joking. I'll tell you what, we've spent 20 minutes on him. We promised we wouldn't spend the full pod. So should we stop talking about him now? Because I would genuinely like to talk about the match on Monday, because I think there's still a lot to talk about on that side of things. So I will play the sponsor now, and then we can move on to actual match talk, yeah?
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Cool. Thanks, Ken. Right, so on to match talk. Yeah, exactly. The match. I mean, honestly, I don't even know where to start from it. We've already touched on the fact that it's going to be like an actual cauldron in that stadium. I expect an atmosphere on the levels of PSG that I was there at, and some of the other amazing matches that I've seen over the years, but it's going to be a cauldron, probably in a very vicious way. Unfortunately, I'm right up next to your fans, so I will be having a few pints first or something to calm. I would say calm the nerves. It probably might stoke the fire.
Oh, no, that will not calm the nerves at all.
It will not calm the words. It's going to, honestly, Louie, if you knew me personally, Nick's probably laughing because she'll know that it just makes me go off on one anyway, so that's fine. But you know what it is? I'm all in for it. I love a bit of that. I hope it's as loud as hell. I hope it's a great atmosphere all game long. You guys will be probably winding us up about Isak. We'll be giving it back. I want to see a good game on the pitch as well, apart from the fact that everyone's just going to be shouting at each other, by the way. But yeah, I mean, let's actually talk about the football. Like, Nick, I'll ask you first. How do you feel? I know. How do you feel about the match on Monday? Do you think, or today as you listen to this, do you think we've got a bit of a chance? Do you think that we'll come out firing because of all this? I'd like to hope so, but yeah, give us your thoughts, go.
Well, I hope we're all ready to bail Joe Linton out of jail.
He's getting arrested. Yeah.
He is seeing blood tomorrow night. No. Look, we have yes, okay, we're without our star player. We have we've established that. I think the fact we're at home, St James Park on a bad day, still a tough place to come. So tomorrow, I think the atmosphere is going to be something the team needs. Home crowd right behind them, so I think they're going to come out guns blazing. And don't get me wrong, Liverpool are a tough team to play. We know that. We get it. And you guys have got an unbelievable squad, by the way. Yeah. So I am a little bit nervous because I don't know what to expect. I don't know what formation Eddie Howe's going to put out. Obviously, only he knows that, because obviously we're trying to play around with players up front and whatnot. But I do think we have a chance, and I think I'm hoping it's not going to be a boring 0-0, but I'm hoping it's going to be one of those games where it's just box to box, goal to goal.
Yeah.
And when St James Park is on its good night, it's like the PSG game, and like you say, we see teams crumble under the pressure. So yeah.
We have. And the box-to-box thing's a great point, to be fair, because I think it is going to be high energy and very much attacking on both sides, isn't it? Both teams are going to go for it. And you guys are unreal. We know this, by the way. There's no denying how great Liverpool are, and that's why we are a bit scared. But we can beat you guys. So it's one of those that we have to have that belief still, don't we? You know what I mean? We're very much aware that technically and on paper, yes, you're the better team, and yes, we are 100% the underdogs tomorrow night. But we've got to hope that we'll come out and just give it literally everything we've got. So
underdogs not by a lot, though. I mean, I think the Liverpool, Newcastle, even in recent history, been great games, and historically, Liverpool, Newcastle very rarely are there 0-0s. Okay, it's always goals, action, end-to-end stuff. And I'm just looking at your team, which should be your starting 11, and it is a very, very good team. And when you put in that St James's Park factor, the home factor, the fact that everyone is going to be so up for it, and that's why we love English football, right? That's why English football is the most watched football around the world, is because of these games, these kinds of games, the kind of atmosphere that's going to be there. But I think the tactical side is going to be really fascinating because, you've mentioned that you're not sure how Eddie Howe's going to shape up. I think with Arne Slot as well, I've got a feeling that he's going to try and do what we did last season against Man City at the Etihad, which is play 4 midfielders and 2 forwards. So instead of the normal kind of 2 holding midfielders that we've got, or the double pivot, and then 3 midfielders, and then a 4-3-3.
Yeah,
I think he's going to go for a double pivot, and then I think he's going to go for 2 number 10s, Szoboszlai and Wirtz. And I don't think we're going to have an out-and-out number 9, even though Ekitike is there. I've got a feeling, because I think that the games where we've struggled with against Newcastle is the physicality of their midfield. And I think Slot will want to basically outnumber them. I don't think we've got the physical game. I don't think Gravenberch has got the physical game to go up against Joe Linton. But what we can do is, if we've got 4 midfielders against Newcastle's 3, I think that is something that could work, and then just hit them on the break, where you've got the likes of Szoboszlai, who's got an unbelievable engine on him. The guy will just run for 90 minutes up and down that pitch. And if you've got someone like him and Wirtz, who can just drop into midfield and then join the attack as well, then I think that's something that that could work well with us. But I think Liverpool's tactic will be just to quieten the crowd for the first 15, 20 minutes. And again, that for me, it speaks to packing out that midfield, holding possession, and then just trying to build from there.
Yeah. Louis?
Yeah, I am looking at some of these matches on the pitch. I think the fascinating one will be Gakpo versus Trippier if he plays, because I just don't know if Trippier has the legs to catch Gakpo anymore. He's so good on that left-hand side, and he's one of those players where you can predict what he's going to do, and he'll just do it anyway. He cuts in on his right foot, and he sweeps it into the box, or he shoots. It's one of the two. And he's so effective at it. So I think Dan Burn at the back is going to have a huge, huge job. What will be interesting to me is who plays at right back for Liverpool, because obviously we're missing Frimpong. Bradley hasn't played a single minute yet.
Yeah.
And the question is, could Szoboszlai actually play at right back? Because we did see him do that quite a lot in pre-season. Or will it be Curtis Jones, who we've seen Arne Slot experiments with before? I think either of them are clever enough players where they can do that.
Do you think you could go for Joe Gomez, Louis?
I just think with Joe Gomez, he doesn't offer that much going forward. I think he's one of those players that, he's a natural centre-back. We all know this. If he's playing at right back, it usually means we're winning and there's 20 minutes to go. That's how I see it. But I mean, if we're going to see,
let's hope he comes on then on Monday night. Then, yeah,
yeah, that would be absolutely lovely.
Happening tomorrow.
Maybe we could see him start instead of Konate after that disappointing match he had against Bournemouth last week, because that's my fear. Will Ibrahima Konate be able to bounce back from such a disappointing game? Because we all know he is incredible on his day, but he has got a penalty conceded on him. He's got a missliding tackle on him. He's got all sorts going for him.
Music to Anthony Gordon's ears.
So he's just so inconsistent.
You're even winding him up.
Absolutely.
Oh god, yeah, there'll be a lot of that.
There's
going to be a lot of winding up. There is. Someone's getting carded. Like, if you want to stick any bets on, there's 100% at least one red card, I reckon. I would bet on it, but I've banned myself from betting on Toon matches now, so it's fine. I'm usually a curse, so I'll stay absolutely
if only
clear.
Sandro Tonali could do the
Jason
same.
Tyndall's getting a red card. He is getting sent back. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'd like us personally play the formation that worked quite well on the few games that we did it, with the kind of 3 central defenders and have the wing backs. It worked perfectly, especially against Arsenal. Absolutely loved beating them with that formation a couple of times last season, much to Arteta's tears. But yeah, seriously, it's a formation that could work against you guys because we'll kind of need that extra defensive display, but it does allow us to play out very well from the back anyway. We've got the speed on the wings as well, which we've got to utilise really. And I know it won't go down well, but I said it the other day, I wouldn't mind seeing Gordon back out on the left and sticking Barnes in the middle, because to me, Gordon is wasted in the middle. He's more effective on the left, and Barnes technically is a better striker of the ball. So I appreciate Barnes isn't a striker, but neither's Gordon. He's just not. He is a winger. All right, he can play in the middle, but he's a winger. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Eddie will play that, but it's just what I would like to see. Osula's blatantly not being trusted, so he'll be on the bench.
Is there a world, I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but is there a world where we could run it back 4 years and stick Joe Linton up front?
He would do a job.
I wouldn't say no to
honestly.
him in a minute. He would? I want him in the middle, though. We need that fight. We need him through the middle.
He'd be in the middle, but I generally think nowadays,
for as long as he's on the pitch,
that Joe Linton's one of them players that Eddie Howe's just magically transformed. You tell him to go and play in goal, he'll go and play in goal. Obviously, that's
he'd do whatever he wants. Yeah, he would.
He'd just do whatever he wants. But
I do think that Anthony Gordon out on the left on Monday night, because as Louie mentioned, Jeremy Frimpong, who's our speedster, he's out. Conor Bradley, I don't think he's going to play.
Shame.
And so,
shame. He's brand new.
Huge shame.
Shame.
He's such a nice guy.
So you left with Joe Gomez. You left with Joe Gomez as a centre back, or potentially midfielders of Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai. So I would, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd want Gordon out on the left.
Yeah.
And also Konate's covering him, so
Yeah, exactly. I watched your game v Bournemouth. I'm not going to lie. Like, as I was watching it and as it finished, I know you guys won, but Bournemouth gave you a game, man. And I said at the end of the game, I was like, "Can you please look at and you like talk to the TV?" I was like, "Can you guys please play like that next Monday? Because it might give us a chance, man. Because you did not have your strongest game. You're fully aware of that. But in true champion style, you still won 4-2. So it's one of those, isn't it? Like, you've still got the players no matter what."
Yeah, we can't keep conceding like that.
No.
And expect to win. But I think Ryan Gravenberch coming back in, I think is a massive. He was a massive miss for us against Bournemouth. He just gives us that extra shield in front of the back four, and him and McAllister are just so good at kind of plugging those gaps, And so if you remember the Bournemouth, the second Bournemouth goal, it went literally straight through us. And I thought
you said you wouldn't play him.
That's a position where Gravenberch would be. So I'm hoping that is not going to be the case, because I'd be surprised if we could score 4 goals in St James's Park to
that
win
ain't
that
happening.
That's
no comment. I'm not jinxing anything, me. Like, I'm not saying
me either.
Nothing's happening.
No.
Nothing's happening.
4-3.
No messing.
4-3.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. You see, I'm old enough to remember those games. Louie isn't. Nick, you're not, are you, chick? And you know what? I know we lost them, right? But they're still, and it goes back to what you were saying, Jesse, before about historically, we just always have great games kind of to watch between us, don't we? And they are still 2 of my favourite games. Like, it's mental that we've lost them, and that could be up there in my favourite games, but it's just the actual spectacle of the whole game and the dramatics of it. And yeah, all right, we were on the losing side, but you can still appreciate the game as a whole as to what it gave us, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, feel sorry for me, guys, because my husband's a Liverpool fan.
I always feel sorry for you.
My house is hostile. Very hostile. When Ekitike got stolen from us, I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then the Isak drama, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's very hostile over this
I
side.
don't know how you do it. I'm not going to lie.
Not very well.
But
Ginger rage would take over with me.
the history between the two clubs, though, is in terms of the relationship between the two clubs, in terms of players. And I'm not just talking about average players. I'm talking about great players who have played for both clubs. And in last week's podcast, I did an episode where I looked at the greatest players to have played for both Liverpool and Newcastle. And you just look back and you just look at those names: Kevin Keegan, Terry Mack,
Huge
some
list.
really Alan Kennedy,
Beardsley.
great players that have played for both. Peter Beardsley, so many top players. So it's just a really interesting relationship, because even at the with Kenny Dalglish and Kevin Keegan left Liverpool and Kenny Dalglish replaced him as a player, and they did the same as a manager at Newcastle. So there's a lot of kind of overlap in terms of the history, but I think everyone's going to forget that and hate each other on Monday night.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
100%. And it should be like that during the 90 minutes. I love that during the 90 minutes. So it's what I want it to be. And that's, you count on the kind of atmosphere. There's nothing worse, I think, than the dull games, because there always is dull games in the season where the atmosphere is flat as hell. And no matter what's happening on the pitch, I'll be honest, sometimes the atmosphere just stinks, and even the away fans can be poor, and you're like, oh no, you count on them to at least do something to wind us up, to react back. But 100%. Yeah, so no, I'm all for an atmospheric game. Like, so I don't even in no doubt tomorrow's going to be that. It's going to be all that and more, I think. So it's fine. Looking forward to it very much. So I'll be honest, but I'll tell you what, we will wrap it up. However, go on, we'll do the inevitable predictions. So I'm going to throw in Ian's, because Ian does love to give a prediction, and he loves to give the same prediction every single game, by the way. It comes off every now and again, as you can imagine, so eventually it's got to happen. But he's going to predict a 3-1 Newcastle win, because that's his favourite thing to do. So never more have we wanted Ian to be right. Bless his heart. I don't know if he's going to be this time, but I love the optimism and stuff. But come on, we'll go for you guys first. Jesse, what are you saying?
I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
Oh.
I'm going for an Anthony Gordon opener, and I'm going for Gakpo and Salah to sneak the 3 points for us.
Right, so we're going to get excited, and then you're going to kill our hopes. I love it. Right, I like it. Louie, what are you?
Oh, this is such a difficult one to predict.
Don't say the 7-0 that you said on the group chat. Yeah, don't.
Louie, just when I was partially liking you right there.
I think I'm going to go 3-2 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be goals, and I think it will be a last-minute winner. Oh, I we've seen it before. We'll see it again. There's always late goals in this game. Think about Darwin Nunez.
Yeah, true.
What a day that was.
Right, Nick, what are you saying, chick?
So I want the biggest plot twist of 2025, and I want Alexander Isak to walk out in a Newcastle kit tomorrow night. So that's great.
Shut up.
then
this time.
Is this a Fantasy League podcast?
She'll wake up in a second. It's all right. She's waking up.
Who walks on a Liverpool kit?
I actually think it's going to be. I'm actually going to go for a draw. I think it's going to be 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a draw.
Oh, Nick, you've just nicked mine.
Sorry.
Say 2-2. No, because I agree with, again, what we've talked about this whole pod and what Louie's just said there. I think there's going to be a lot of goals, and I was going to go 2-2. So, I'm not shifting on that. We're going to have to just tie on that one, Nick. So, and I can never, ever predict a loss. So, no matter what, I would never predict us a loss. So, yeah.
Me either.
We'll go 2-2. 2 draws and 2 wins, yeah, people like.
2 wins.
We'll see. Look, but no matter what, it's going to be spicy.
Yeah.
I love saying that now. It's what it is. It's going to be great. But look, it's been a pleasure having you guys on. It really has. I hope this has entertained the masses as Nick wanted. Other Nick, obviously, that is director Nick. Not you, yeah. But yeah, look, it's been a pleasure having you guys, and we'll see you again another time in the season, and hopefully we can at least be happy, kinda, to see you, and won't hate you too much.
We'll
honestly,
see.
it's been lovely. I know. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.